right. Good, good afternoon, actually, to everyone for Math 108. Since this is the first session, introduction session, I just want to know how it sounds and looks on your end. We are currently streaming to Discord, YouTube, and D2L. So I need to hear, can you hear me? First of all, can you see the word welcome?
Yes.
All right, perfect. That's what I'm looking for. Now I understand people, well, let me rephrase it. Uh, Discord is mainly used because it allows us to interact, voice interaction instead of text, which, when it comes to discussing math topics, is definitely way more efficient. But I understand people in general prefer to uh, type. So just know that I might not always see the chat box because I'm looking at Discord. I'm looking at three different ones here. So voice interaction will always take the priority because I hear it right away and I can respond right away. So I apologize for the whole semester in advance if you stick to your chat option and I don't see it right away. I apologize. Okay, so um, the sound quality, is the sound quality okay? Any issues? I ironed out most of them this morning in my first class, but still not sure since I have no idea how you see things on your end. So when you think you should be hearing something or seeing something and it doesn't sound right or doesn't look right on your end, just always let me know right away if something seems wrong. Should I be seeing this or should I be hearing something? Because I can't tell. All right. Okay, what else did I want to say here? So I normally don't stream through D2L as well because it has been known to be a little laggy, I'll call it. That once we start our lectures from tomorrow and I write on the screen, sometimes if I stream to D2L, uh, there's a big delay to the point where I can't really do the lecture effectively. So in those cases, I might have to shut off the D2L stream. So if you're currently using the D2L side, please familiarize yourself with Discord or YouTube so that in case that happens, you have a backup. Because YouTube and Discord, of course, used by millions of people, uh, are as seamless as it could be, but we're not going to be able to always use D2L for some reason. It could be my computer, but I've tested it, and every time I turn D2L off, everything is smooth again. So unfortunately, it is the problem on some days. So I don't want you to commit to D2L. If it gives problems, I'm going to have to turn it off. Okay. Welcome to Math 108. The only goal I have today is to just see if there are any technical issues on either side and to just walk through the course website and see what is expected in this course. What are we going to do? What affects our grades? And all those things so that there are no major surprises in terms of what we're expected to do. I'm expected to teach you and do the lectures and all those things, but you're also expected to do a couple of things. And that's why this introduction is important to get a big picture of what is happening. So the first thing is the course website. I have some information on D2L, but it is not going to be updated past that. We have our own course website. There's a link everywhere, an email everywhere. You should have gotten multiple emails perhaps, uh, but let me know if you still don't know. I get people sometimes, not in this one, but in the face-to-face version, some semester, 3 months in, and they ask me, "Oh, where is the solutions to the midterm or something?" And I say it's on the course website, and they're shocked that there is a course website. They had no idea. Well, this is what we're trying to do on day one. Okay, so when you go, depending on your screen size, when you go to Math 108, then you'll have a login screen. Now, I know your student number, but I don't know what password you may want, of course. So you put in your student number and a default password temporarily. That is a capital A and the same number. Let's suppose my number is 123456. I would put that in and then a capital A and that same number. And of course, here at the bottom, you can change it. I will assume that you can change it, that no, that you will change it rather, because as soon as we log in, a breakdown of your grade will be there. So we don't want other people to be able to see that, right? So I apologize if you've already done all this. The goal was from the email almost a week ago to get ready and set up, but it always happens that not everyone does it. I can't just start with some math topics from day one. People need a day to just get into it. So just sit back and relax. Maybe you have already done your part. I appreciate it, but sadly, not everyone does. Or maybe some people have registered late, right? And didn't have as much time. So we see a breakdown here of all the things. There's just some P's there for pending. We haven't done anything yet. Uh, so don't worry about that. But as we progress through the course, you'll be able to see percentages here and your average as well to know if you're how you're doing, if you're doing okay or if you're not doing so okay. Just see if it looks big enough, I think. That's my name. Of course, everything's online. We have a couple of links under course information. Our YouTube channel link. All the lectures will be backed up to our YouTube channel. Playlist is clearly named Math 108 Winter 2021. Can't miss it. We have our Discord link there. If you maybe haven't gotten to Discord yet, don't resist it. It's awesome. Just make sure you read the rules first. It gives you just basic instructions for what to do. Rules is such a strict word. It's not really rules, just guidelines and things you have to do to be able to get permission to access the specific channels. And we have our class schedule here as well. Let's have a look at the class schedule. It's important that you always consult the schedule. Not that I plan to change it often. I plan to change it as little as possible. But it's easy to forget. Oh, what's coming up this week again? Oh, okay. I can look at the schedule. So definitely look at that often. We have some pink blocks, which it's kind of a sort of a special session. Then we have our normal live lecture sessions, which is in this light blue, and the topics are there as well as we go. We also have Q&A sessions that are drop-in, come, don't come, depending on if you have any questions. These are like office hours, but just virtual. That is done in Discord at these times. I try to put a little Sunday morning there, just in case you have course conflicts or other things in the mornings. I don't really have time in the afternoons, unfortunately. But hopefully one of these sessions during the week will work for you. And if it really doesn't, and you need to discuss something, let me know, send me an email. We can find another time. But these are blocks where I'll be here, Drop in, ask a question, chat, whatever, as you need to. Then we also, so let me backtrack a second. So our live sessions, you're always welcome to ask questions, and we pause the discussion and address those questions if we need to. But it is sometimes difficult to keep up as things are happening in real time. And I don't expect people to attend the session and watch the recorded video then after the fact, sort of doubling the time spent. Uh, so we have a different kind of session. The yellow blocks are those that are not going to be live sessions. Take that time during the day, whenever, and work through a video that will already be in the playlist at your own pace. So if you need to rewind and listen to something right away, the live session can't do that necessarily. Or you want to skip something, or you want to pause at any stage. Sometimes it's nice to have a self-paced lesson versus a live real-time one. So those videos will be similarly named in the playlist already, and that's what we do on that day. Don't skip it. It is equally important to something that's a little more self-paced now and then. We scroll down, we see there's a midterm there, big surprise. We have reading break. That's in red. That doesn't mean it's a Q&A session. That should really be another color. Whatever. Some yellow blocks now and then, just to give you some time. Think about things, pause, self-paced, and we are moving through the semester according to this schedule. Okay, schedule, very important. Very important. So there's some reminders here, of course. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in whatever format you want. Chat, Discord, private message, voice, email. There are so many options. There's really no excuse. If you have any questions, let's talk about it. Let's address it before it sort of blows up into something bigger, which often happens with math. Uh, if you're listening somewhere else and you haven't tried Discord yet, just make sure you won't be able to access anything unless you send me a private message with your information, because there's no login for our specific server. The permissions serve as security, so no one outside can come in and do anything. I'll try and stream to all three of these, Discord, YouTube, and D2L. D2L is going to be the first one to go if I notice any lag, which does happen sometimes. So there's the calendar description of what this course is about. Let's be honest. I never read that, and I don't expect you to either. It means nothing. There are things you'll be learning. Oh, that means nothing to me. We'll get to these as we get to them. Knowing these things in advance just uh, scares me a little bit. But as we systematically introduce concepts, way less scary. So I never liked to talk about, oh, you're going to be learning this, 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 and this, and this. Well, we'll get there when we get there. All right, is everyone still with me? It's gotten a little quiet. Just want to check, especially on day one, that everything is still getting through to your side. A little paranoid, you never know.
Everything seems to be working correctly. We can see it, we can hear you.
Good, good. You never know, right? I have this scenario in my head that I talk about whatever topic for like 30 minutes, and then someone says in the chat, oh, they couldn't hear me for the last 30 minutes. I'm like, oh no. I have no idea. It's up to you to let me know if you think you should be hearing something, but you don't, or it's breaking up or whatever. It's up to you. I can't guess, right? So if I hear nothing, I assume everything is A-OK. We have an official textbook that is free, written by people at UBC. Now, I want to be clear, so let me know if there are any confusion here. This is a book not written by me. It is good. There are there are extra things in the book, and there are things missing in the book, unfortunately, because UBC does things slightly differently. But there are two books. If I click this link, let's see where it takes us. One book is called Differential Calculus, this brown one. One book is called Integral Calculus. Technically, these can be split into two courses, but we aren't doing that. We're simplifying things, and the last, I'll say third of the course uses the green book. The first part uses the brown book. So unfortunately, it's split over two books. If I click on the first one, the brown one, for example, there are multiple versions as well that aspect has confused people in the past. There is just the textbook with explanations and examples. There's just the book of problems. Then there is the combined one. So know which one you're downloading here. And its benefit is that, yes, the videos, I run a course with the goal that with the content through the videos and through what I'm saying, it is sufficient. You don't have to go look in a book for something that I didn't talk about. I will not test you on something that I didn't talk about in one form or another. I'm not going to suddenly skip something and then expect you to find it in a book somewhere. Everything that's important will be mentioned in a video. And to that end, many people don't even look at the book. It's nice to have a book for those that want to, but it's certainly not something that I expect you to look at in addition to working through the video. It's there if you want slightly different words to explain a problem. Reading through something helps some people. It's really up to you. It's another resource for you to use. You don't have to go look for a book. Here is a book if you really want one. And the exercises, the problems that they have in the book, they have answers, they have hints, they have solutions, all kinds of things. All kinds of things. So we do have some written form because I have not gotten around to writing my own book. I like to talk about things more. And the videos are certainly more than sufficient. Okay. So different resources for you to use as you need to. Just know we'll get to the number in a second. We kind of need two books. Our content is split among these over these two books. Okay. So because of that and their numbering system not exactly matching mine, we have I've made a list of topics. And if I click on that, the PDF opens any day now. And there it is. So I'll call these topics, like one is our introduction. Can I zoom in? Maybe a little more. Is that big enough? That looks pretty good. So first topic is introduction. It has some subtopics. And the thing about Math 108 with us is we start much slower. Yes, it's a calculus course. We don't start with calculus. We have a whole introduction, trying to remember some important things, trying to get the foundation that we need, at least a little bit, a little bit of a refresher. And those textbooks don't really do that. So I have in square brackets here the corresponding sections in the official textbook, and you see some of them don't. I can't, just because that book doesn't have it, that's not a reason for me to skip it. These topics are important and things I'm going to use and need it moving on, and I can't assume everyone knows their prerequisite information perfectly. I never did. I can't expect you to either. We forget these things. It's okay. So we have a little bit of an on ramp before we start the calculus. And then once we do with limits and so on, you see the sections are much more. And I give you the numbers where you could read up on these same things if you want to, but our videos will be sufficient, in my opinion. Okay, so our numbering system is going to be different because I add topics or I skip topics when it's not important. So this is the numbering that I will use, right? Not the same as the book, unfortunately. And it often happens when you don't write the book yourself. It can get a little confusing, especially because our topics are split over two books. I have to make my own numbering system. Okay. Regardless, if you miss a live session or you just choose to not attend it or whatever, all our lecture videos or all our lectures will be backed up to our YouTube playlist. So you can watch them, you can re-watch something, you can use it however you want. So it's totally up to you. And we're doing things according to the lecture schedule. Lecture schedule is so important that, or the class schedule, there are links scattered throughout this website to the exact same schedule. Very important. I have had people in the past, sadly, say, oh, I thought the midterm was on another day. Well, the schedule didn't change. It's been there since day one. There is no excuse, unfortunately. And I had to give them a 0. I don't want to, but I kind of have to, right? So please be aware of all the information that is on this course website. So important that I take a whole session to walk you through it because it is so important. Now, the textbook, official textbook, I'll say, our textbook. Whether you use it or not, know that it is there and it's exercises that I've listed here somewhere. If you look, for example, at infinite limits, topic 2a, I don't care what that is right now. In the first book, section 1.5, number 1 to 27 are exercises you could go and do if you want to practice. They have hints, they have answers, then they have worked out solutions that you can scale how much help you want from the book. Okay, so know that those are there. Last semester, people just forgot because I don't refer to the book often. I have my own list of topics, and I don't need a book to discuss them. In addition to that, in addition to exercises, worked out solutions, and hints, and all kinds of stuff, I have a collection of problems, some my own, some taken from all kinds of different books, and I'll call it the problem book. Let's open that. Because textbooks change, I have my own questions that I will reference. So, for example, can we go to this one? Page down a little bit. Go, 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 go. So there are many problems that we will take from during the lectures. We will use these problems as examples and work through them, but there are more than we'll do in a video, right? You can use the ones we don't get to as extra problems, sort of as a transition towards the test. You start with the exercises that we do. I walk you through them. Then you can use textbook exercises that have hints where you can see a full solution. Then you get the problem book questions here that have no solution. They don't have you don't have the answer. Because in a test, you won't have the answer, yet you still have to do the problems. So we're trying to transition you to being comfortable not having the answer, not being tempted to look at an answer, at a solution. You don't have it in the test. So I have to be comfortable with that. That said, if you practice any of these and you want to check if you're correct, send it to me. It is super easy for me to check, and I'll happily give you feedback. Okay. What happened last semester? I'll be perfectly honest with you. I offered the option. Send me your answers. Let me check them. I have no problem. I understand there are no solutions here. You don't have answers to the problem book questions. Some we do in class, but not all. Send your answers to me. I'll check them. It's not time consuming for me. I'm happy to do it. No one does it. And then they go and complain that I don't give answers. I don't give any feedback. So it's a two-way street. I don't want to be all preachy and rambly, but I'm interested in fairness. There's a two-way street. I offer information and lectures and all kinds of things. That's my responsibility. But your responsibility is to ask for help. If you want feedback, ask for it. I can't smell a requirement like that, right? So I find complaints like that happen a lot this last semester. Not just my course, many courses. And it's a matter of you need to take the initiative and ask, because we can't guess when you need help, whether it's lack of understanding in something important, or whether it's just getting verification, confirmation that you are doing this problem correctly. You need to do something. Ask. We're here to help you. But there is a responsibility on your side too. I won't say more than that. I can spend 10 more minutes ranting. But it's frustrating when I want to help, but you have to ask. Okay. So the problem book, we have a ton. There's a ton of questions. You don't have to work through all of them, of course, right? Use your judgment. Where is it now? Where's it now? Oh, it's this one. Use your judgment. If you're happy with this topic, you don't have to do them all. Decide how much practice do you need until it becomes quite easy and straightforward for you. So I try to give you more problems than you need to do, just in case you need to really focus on one of those topics. Okay. Then another thing that just helps us take some grading pressure off the midterms and the final exam and all those big things, right? We'll have some homework assignments. Again, trying to shift towards those test situations where I'll give you some questions. I'm going to go to the instructions in a second. Let's just look at them. So if you look at the first assignment set, for example, there are four. I break the course into four parts because three is not enough and five will be too many. Four. Let's open this one. Not a lot. It refers to the problem book. It refers to my problem book. Everything we're doing is going to refer to the problem book. And there's some questions. We don't want to. We want enough to sort of cover part one. That is what you have to do and submit to get your grade. After the fact, there will be a link here with solutions, and you can use that to check what went wrong, is everything right, and all those. Okay, so how do you submit the homework assignment? I'm going to post it. I already did. PDF. Just list the questions. The problem book is what you need to find those actual questions, right? Write your answers however you want. Pen and paper, on a screen if you have the technology and you know how to do that. You write it by hand. You can type it if you want to, but I think it's way more time consuming in general. It's open book, open Google, open YouTube, open whatever you want that is not a person. It's to be your work. Now, the due date is midnight of, or the exact time when you have to submit this. The cutoff time is midnight on these days. So Wednesday night, 12 o'clock. It has to be done before then. Before the due date, you have to scan in your answers, send it email. Email is simpler to me. Everyone knows email. We're not using the D2L. We're not using D2L for anything, really. Email your answers to me as a single PDF file. You have a lot of time to figure out how to do that. There are many scanning apps, many ways. You don't have to go and buy a scanner. I don't know anyone who doesn't have a phone who can take a picture, make a PDF, so many options. You can take pictures, you can put it into Word or Office and save that as a PDF. There's a ton of free scanning apps, Cam Scanner, Genius Scan, another one I learned about, I can't remember the name, all free. Figure it out before you have to use them. That's the due date there. Email. I am going to use the time that I receive the email. And if it says 12:01 Thursday morning, that is late and there's a penalty. Any late submissions will receive 10% penalty for every 10 minutes you're late, rounded up. So if you're 1 minute late, it's 10%. It's not worth it. I have to be strict to be fair. To make sure I get the email, CC yourself on it or send the scan email to yourself and then forward it to me. People don't do that, and then they send it to me through some free scanning app, which doesn't always work depending on the file size, and just hope, pray to the scanning gods that it gets there. No, make sure it's going to get there, because if it's late, there's no excuse. I have to be fair to everyone. Okay, so I want to make it extremely clear what is expected of you, so that there is no excuses. I have to be fair. Tests are done in a very similar way. But before we get there, are there any questions on homework assignments? It's very quiet. I know I come across as preachy, but uh, there are certain things you have to do, and there are certain things I have to do. I have to be clear on the instructions, and you have to follow those instructions. But I want to make sure that I am clear on what is expected of you. So, are there any questions about homework assignments?
I just want to. Hi, it's Josh Loftus here. I just want to clarify the homework assignments format. So, are you giving them to us one at a time, or are they basically all the information's already out there, and we just have to text you or email you a scan of the answers before the due date? It's not like like a test or something where you give us like 2 hours to do it and then we do it.
No, it's already there.
Okay,
But
and we're
of
not allowed to
course,
collaborate.
sorry, say again.
All right, and we're not allowed to collaborate on any of that with any of our fellow classmates. Like, is it? You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
in
I
general,
could.
yeah. Honestly, I'm not gonna know, and
Yeah.
to be honest with you, I don't really care. The problem is, when it comes to homework assignments, the problem is that I can't. If you're struggling with a question and you ask a friend, I have no control over what that friend is saying to you, and it could be bad. It could be making it worse. I don't mind if you discuss it. Discussing these things are good. I prefer, maybe if you're really confused, maybe discuss it with me, because I don't know what your friend is going to tell you, and it might be bad, might not be good, because they're learning as well. But if you feel comfortable talking about something to better understand the question, yeah, homework assignments, I think it's fine.
Yeah. All right. So if if someone else in the class and I have kind of a similar timetable, we can. I guess you do have your open hours after
Yeah,
class
which
most.
if yeah, honestly, okay, I'll take this off. Let's take this down here then. I'll take this down. If you want to communicate with whoever you want, go for it when it comes to the assignments. Because I'd rather have you talk about these things than not talk about them. So I'm going to take that that highlighted piece off. I prefer you talk to me about it, but it's not always something people want to do or something that fits your time schedule. So let's go with that. Okay. But all the questions are already there. I would do them systematically as we cover the topics, and it should be fairly obvious because it comes from the problem book as well. As we do our examples, discuss things, you can chip away at the assignment, and those assignment questions will, almost all of them, will have some representative example that we would have done in class, so to speak.
Okay.
So
For
you
answer.
see, even though I give it to you up front, because you can work on it uh, whenever you are ready. You're not expected to be able to do it right now, because we're gonna still talk about them. But you can do it however you want, the day before, or right away as we discuss those examples, or anything in between. Okay, so I'll take that off. So assignments are open everything. Might be better, yeah. Tests are similar, but timed. Really, that's the difference. We are going to have 4 midterms on these dates. They happen in place of our normal live sessions in this time block. Now, it depends on the day. They've made it interesting this semester that we have different times on different days. So you have to look at what this day is according to the schedule. February 8th. Let's have a look. February 8th. Oh, it's a Monday. Okay, so that midterm will be at starting at the 1:30 block. Instead of a lecture, that is what we will do. So it starts at, I will post it at 1:30. I will also email it, and I'll put a link in Discord in our course chat, General Math 108. So there are multiple places to get it. I'm not putting a D2L link on. I think email and Discord should be sufficient. Again, it's a PDF. It'll have space for answers, so you can print it out and answer it on that test. I don't have a printer, but maybe you do. Or you can just write your answers on a blank piece of paper, right, and scan that. It doesn't matter as long as your answers are clear and clearly numbered. Test is open book. This one doesn't change. You can talk to other people, of course, in a midterm, right? Before the time is up, you have to scan and send it to my Math Gmail account, the one I sent you an email, the welcome email from, as a single PDF. Now, if you really struggle with technology and you just don't know how to make a single PDF from pages that you wrote, it's fine. If you just want to take pictures and send me the 5 pictures or whatever, however many pages, I'll still grade them, but I'm not returning the graded paper to you because I'm grading it a PDF, single PDF file. If you want to have it back and get feedback, that's what you need to submit. But I'll still grade it if I can read it. Now you have an hour for the test and 30 minutes on top of that to figure out the scanning and the sending. That is very generous in my opinion. So there is really no excuse to be late. If you are working with an actual scanner and it malfunctions or something, send photos. It's all good because you'll get graded on them. It still counts as being on time. Just send it to me somehow. But 30 minutes and preparation of whatever scanning method you're going to use should be more than sufficient to have it back in time. So 90 minutes is the cutoff. So for example, if we start at 1:30, we would go until 3 o'clock. If you submit it at 3:01, that is a 10% penalty. It's not worth it to take any extra time. Not worth it. But if you're really proficient in your scanning and sending, and it takes you 5 minutes, you've practiced it. You can take all the other time to write your test. You can take more than an hour. So practice your scanning and sending, see what time you need, and then you know how to balance it. If you have special accommodations and you have a longer writing time for tests, just let me know when you send it to me. And if for some reason I miss it and I give you a penalty, just let me know and we'll fix it. I know there are some of you in that situation. Just so you know, I can't respond to private messages right now. I'll do it afterwards. So I'm not trying to be rude, but we have our session now. Okay, so please check on the specific day the midterm happens, because our start time, our session times are different for different days. They just wanted to make it a little bit more interesting, I suppose. I've never had that happen until this semester. So be sure you know on which day the time our block is. Okay, then to make it fun, a little bit extra, we have an oral test as well. That is by way of a private video call. I want to see your face, watch you sweat. No, I'm kidding. No, it'll be fun. Uh, where I'm just going to ask you a few basic concept questions. No question will require you to write anything down. No calculation, nothing. Concepts that are fundamental to the what we talk about, fundamental to this course. You know it or you don't know it. And the reason I need to have a video call is because last semester many people cheated. I didn't say anything because I can't prove it. But I didn't do the video part, just the call, so just audio, and I could hear them paging and looking for the answer. That is not the point. If I ask you a basic concept question and you read it off, that's not fair. So now we are making it a video call. You have a phone. I am happy to use any app you want. FaceTime, WhatsApp, Discord is probably nice as well. Anything. There's no excuse. I'm happy to use anything, but it has to be a video call. And it's just a way to prevent cheating, right? If you did your oral test in a fair way and you didn't look at anything, but someone else did, that's not fair for you, right? So it needs to be fair across the board. All short concept questions. And if you don't know examples of questions, if I think about it during a lecture, I'll say, oh, this is a good question for an oral test. I can't really talk about it now because we haven't discussed anything yet. You don't need an appointment. It's just going to be an administrative mess if I do that. We are going to have it first come, first served during any of the red blocks. Any red block, anywhere, well, not reading break, any Q&A red block. You show up and say, hey, I want to do my oral test. Then we do it. It'll take like 5 minutes. I ask you a question. I give you 30 seconds to think. You know it. You don't know it. That's it. Okay. Should be short and sweet. Nothing tests if you understand something than the ability to talk about it. Writing, I've seen people in the past, they can write a test, especially it's open book, right? They can do a written test very well, but I ask them a fundamental, the most important concept to the whole course, they don't know it. So then you have to ask, I don't know if you should be getting that midterm grade, right? If you don't understand basic things. So the oral test serves two purposes. Really test if where's your understanding at. It should be a part of the assessment. And take some pressure, some weight off the final exam. It's too much. One more thing, the oral test opportunities only start in March. March 1st, you're welcome to do it. But we need to discuss some stuff first, right? We can't do it week one. We haven't done anything yet. So it's a little bit delayed. Now, keep in mind that I can only ask you concepts from things we've talked about. If you come March 1st, assuming that's a day with a block, with a red block, and say you want to do your oral test, then I ask you questions based on what we've talked about up to that point. If you come April 30th, 13th or whatever, last day, last opportunity would be this one, April 18th, and say you want to do your oral test. Fine, but think about it. Now I'm going to ask you about everything we've done. It's going to be much easier if you do it early, but it is totally up to you. If you like the challenge, leave it until the end. That's up to you. I don't care. Many people leave it until the end, and it baffles me. Like, it's so much easier if you do it early because it's half the course material. Man, it's up to you. I don't know. Maybe you like the challenge. I don't. I don't want to judge you. Makes no sense to me. And of course, there's a cumulative exam. We don't know when that is. It's in the exam period. It'll be decided at a later time. What makes up your grade? Homework assignment, 5% each. That's not bad. I think that's pretty generous. Take advantage of it. Midterms, 10% each. Oral test, 10% each, like a midterm, only fast. And that gets our final exam down to 30%. That gets our final exam, which is cumulative, which is of course the biggest thing, down to 30%. Maybe a little bit better than the standard 50, right? Any questions on the breakdown of your grade? I find it hard to believe that I'm explaining things that well. There should be some questions. Is it really that clear?
I
I don't
think
know.
you're
I'm
being
buying
crystal
it.
clear.
I don't know. Apparently, I have an accent which confuses people. So I need to check. All right. But if it's not clear and you don't want to say something now for fear of judgment or something, send me an email. It has to be clear. That is your responsibility. Be clear on what is expected. Now, one thing is don't ever ask for a makeup test. It's not going to happen. There are valid reasons for missing a test. Not the oral test because I can reschedule that. If your excuse for missing a test falls under the college regulation, you've been in an accident or a family member has an issue or you're actually sick or something, right? Valid reasons. Totally fine. I'll give you an excuse. All the other things will be used to calculate your grade, no problem. But I don't want to do a makeup test. We're moving on. I don't want you to fall behind while studying for a test you should have done already. Okay. So an excuse has no penalty. It's just better. Don't make travel plans before we know what the final exam date is. Of course, that's always the standard line. If, however, I will say here, you miss a test and it's not a valid reason, you just had an early lunch, you just didn't feel like it, you forgot, whatever, that is a zero. There is no excuse. We have to be fair because other people do show up on time and do make an effort. We have to be fair. There's a little thing here that I have to include about academic integrity. No cheating. I'll remove the homework assignment requirement, right? So if you want to cheat on the homework assignment by copying someone else's answers, I'm not going to know. And I do care, but I won't, I'll give you the same grade, but you're cheating yourself. The homework assignments and those things are there to help prepare you for the test. And if you skip that step, the test isn't going to go that well. Open book sounds easy, but it's deceptive. You still have to know what's going on. Okay, so when it comes to math, I know I'm out of time. Whoa, what happened there? When it comes to math, there's a procedure, an ordering I want to follow here. Understand what we do in the video. I don't want to sound arrogant. I'm going to say it at various stages, but it's true. It's not out of arrogance at all. Everything I say is important. I have refined this to the point where I will not waste your time. If I say something and I say it in a specific way, it is because it is important. Start with the lectures. I set up the tests. I know what I'm going to ask. Take notes if you want to. Look at the textbook if you like that kind of thing. You like different words for the same thing, different views. Use it, absolutely. Up to you. I don't force you, but it's there. Understand the examples that we do And only if once you have mastered those, then go and look at the problems, look at the homework assignment. People watch the video once, like, ah, yeah, I think I know what's going on. Let's go do problems. No, build this up correctly. Use the question and answer sessions. Don't fall behind. That is your responsibility to not fall behind. There's a PDF here that people at UVic wrote about how to study for math. It is really good. I understand if you don't want to take 5 minutes to read it, but you're doing yourself a disservice. If you don't know how to study for math, it is not the same as other subjects. There is a way to be successful regardless of your skill level, pretty much at this level. There is a clear recipe for success, but you have to actually do it. Put in some time. All right. I will have to stop my rant here. Any last questions or thoughts? So tomorrow we will start, but you'll see it's going to be super easy. Things that should all be familiar because I just want to give people a chance to ease into things. Just ease into things. So don't be deceived if we start tomorrow and things are very easy. It's really there for people that don't remember everything or don't remember it in a way that I need you to remember it. A lot of things we can forget. I'll be honest. You can forget a lot of pre-calculus. I would say like 60% of it. You don't need all the time. But the rest that you do need, we really need to just refresh our memory. And that's what the uh, first couple of weeks are there for. Any questions as Roxanne is typing something very, very important? See her typing. Oh, thank you. I'm looking forward to it as well. Most important thing, if you haven't already, go and not scan, really carefully read through the course website so you know everything that is available to you, everything that you need to do through the semester. Don't be misinformed. Information is the key. All right. I will see everyone tomorrow. Well, I won't see you, but I'll maybe hear you. There's a different time tomorrow. It's going to be so confusing. I'm not used to it either. What is tomorrow? 10:30 is tomorrow. That makes it fun. And then at 12, wow, that's going to be hard to remember. But look at the schedule every day. That's what I'm going to do. All right. Until tomorrow, then. Come on. Scroll now. Why can't I not scroll?